week Claire was murdered, Scottish political leaders gathered in the Scottish Parliament in Edinburgh for a minute's silence to remember all women and girls killed at the hands of men.
In the UK, a woman is killed by a man every 3 days. On average, 62% of these women will have been killed by a current or former partner.
According to the Scottish Government's own data, 16 women were murdered in Scotland the year that Claire died. 9 were killed by a current or former partner.
Any system that considers itself competent around domestic abuse should have had their red flags going off. It shouldn't have been the victim's responsibility to protect herself. This system and her human rights that we are obligated to uphold mean that the system should have thought before bailing him to that address. But the reality is that domestic abuse is 25% of our court business and 25% of police business. It's so prevalent that it's everywhere.
There were 602 solved homicide cases in Scotland in the past 10 years. 148 involved a female victim.
Does the system, as it stands, do enough to protect vulnerable women?
Clearly not. Clearly not. And I think domestic abuse, you know, we hear a lot from lots of officials and politicians and strategic leaders that there's no excuse for domestic abuse. You know, all across the criminal justice system we hear about how domestic abuse is a key priority. And yet, day after day, we see people treating it as a side issue instead of one of the most central dangers that we have to the Scottish public, and particularly to women and children.
Everything in Claire's life was pink. Everything. Her bedroom was pink, the bathroom towels were pink. It had to be pink.
When you love someone, goodbyes are hard. Claire's family did their best to honour their girl as they knew her, fun and full of life.
When we went down and we looked at the coffins, I just thought, no, I can't just have an oak coffin and, you know, something plain. It had to be pink.
Fiona and Ian drew strength from the community that helped to hold them up in their darkest moments. Now they will try to rebuild their lives and keep Claire's memory alive through her much-loved son.
She just absolutely idolised him. It was her son, and we'll just miss her funny banter. That's it. That's always, when I think about Claire, I always think about her smile and her funny banter. That was her in a nutshell. So proud of her, and she was my friend, my best friend, as well as my daughter. I just adored her, absolutely adored her, and the feeling was mutual. I'm sure she adored her mum as well, her wee mammy as she called me. But no, it was just, you just can't put it into words. Can't put it into words. I was just, it's horrendous, absolutely horrific. And life without her, my life will never be the same.